Hello. So today, just a quick stream. I am working on a corset um, that is going to be kind of like grassy moss. So as you can see, I've still got a lot to do in it. You might have seen the previous video. If not, it is up on my YouTube. You can go back and see how I made this corset. So really simple asymmetrical corset with like an undershirt to go with it. And at the moment I am just manipulating this section because I want it to look a bit more lumpy. Excuse me one second. So I am just slowly manipulating it with some of these tools because I don't want it to be even, and I do want it to kind of have a sort of a lumpy, uneven, not quite right texture to it. Because that was my intention when I began to design this whole concept. So I think that looks lumpy enough. Let's have a look with the particle system on top. Might not be lumpy enough. So maybe this one, turn the strength up to 8. So I was doing it with the particle system off because I find it easier to be able to look at the mesh to make sure I am actually getting what I want to get. And at the moment it's a bit too even, a bit too perfect, and I need it to be lumpy and unusual and just a little bit more like this. I might go in later and add some kind of like dripping sections, but we will see. But so far, I am pretty pleased with that. Where's the wrong one? There we go. So I have added boots. Lots of exciting things going on. There we go. I could cut down the hair so that this kind of cutting through the mesh doesn't happen. But if I do that, then it will be slightly inconsistent. And I'm thinking about when I decide to, I'm not animating this per se, but I am going to have it in different poses, which is why I did sorry, one second, the skeleton attached to it. This one I like, so I'm keeping that. That one I like. Not sure about that one, but I might actually have to move the mesh manually. But I just wanted to give you a quick update because I realized I haven't actually shown you any of the progress. So now she has shoes, even though it's just occurred to me that when I've added this new mesh, I have not attached it to the new skeleton, so it will not move in the same way, I am assuming. Let's have a look. There's just so much going on here, which is why I have this. I suppose I should just make them smaller, to be fair. Oops. Yeah, I will do that in the next video. But let's have a look-see. Oh dear. Overzealous bone movements. Okay. Okay. I might need to do that again and change the weight painting so that the boots actually move in the direction that I want them to. But I'm going to go ahead and assume that I need to also weight paint the new sections of the corset. Interesting. And oh, I need to set the limits of the rotations, but that's fairly easy to do. Mm, but yeah, thought it was Alt R to clear the rotation, but I think because that's bound to something else. Oh, that's really annoying. I will have to change that. But yeah, I am so far pretty pleased with how the moss is going. I just need to redo the skeleton because I was just using so I used Make Human to make the basic shape of the body, and then I what to do, and then I put it into Clo and edited it and added the corset and the top, but no pants because I wanted them just simple skin tight, no seams. And so when I came into Blender, I just selected that section of the mesh and I um, applied a different material to it, thus giving me pants. And then I made the spoot, heavily inspired by My Great Joy of Astro Boy, the original mangas. And now I am working on the moss of the corset. I'm thinking to add maybe some daisies and some flowers to make it look like grass and not just green fur. But I think I might go into some tutorials because I've not done it before, but looking to the node procedural generation. Because I have looked at making, I think it was vines I was looking at before, and it looks fairly simple. It looks kind of like visual scripting, very similar to well, when I was looking at I kind of looked at it and thought, oh, okay, so a little bit like Unreal, or when you use, oh, what was it called? There was one that I used to use when I used Unity, and I cannot remember what it was, but it was another Bolt. Was another, I'm sure it was Bolt, another visual scripting. But yeah, definitely need to resize these bones because I have them off because I just can't see anything. And I don't think that's a practical solution. But it is a good temporary solution while I work everything out. But so far, I'm pretty pleased with the look of the moss because I wanted it to. I didn't want the moss procedurally generated. I just wanted it on these sections and kind of looking a little bit lumpy and like it's kind of engulfing her and taking over the corset, which is why I wanted it to be uneven. I definitely am going to make it slightly darker, but that is Star System patch. Anyway, but that is a problem for another day. Because I really want a really deep green, but I want to add a kind of gradient texture to it so that you get some sort of sense of that kind of like deep, rich, velvety texture. And I feel that a gradient will give that better than a flat color. I also want to turn up the roughness because yes, you can have like wet, shiny moss, but I really want it to be quite dull and shadowy. I might change my mind. I definitely want to change the length of the hairs as well to get a more uneven spread. Really kind of turning it into moss and away from the what? The other thing I wanted to do was selecting, because this one is just that, selecting this one, going to edit mode, because when I did it in Clo, I actually had a material here and in the middle of all of the rivets, but I don't need that now. So I did need it then, just because when I didn't have it, it didn't give me the corset shape that I wanted, so I had to add a material in order to get that shape. But now that I'm in Blender, this is a super easy thing to do. I'm just going to select similar materials, which should select all of the ones that are just clear. Yeah, that's what I want. So just the clear materials, and I should just delete them, and I want to delete them by face. And so that should leave them actually empty. Yes, that's what I wanted. So now they are actually completely empty. They don't need a material, and I can delete that material because, oh wait, no I can't, because I'm in edit mode. But I can go to object mode, and then I can delete that material because I'm not using it anymore. I need to work out. So I'm going to go back into edit mode, because the way I've done the moss is that I have selected the specific material and then duplicated it and deleted the bits that I didn't want the moss on. So now I don't need the material on the base corset, because otherwise then I'm going to have a material on top of a material, and especially in trying to pose it or animate it, that's going to make it, I think, fairly complex. I'm slightly worried that by deleting the material I will have a gap, but if that happens I will work it out. I will add something and I will make it all wonderful. And to be fair, this is, because I did this in Clo, there are several versions of this, so I won't be losing anything. Even though I might save this and then file, save as, we'll call it maker 02. Now I can feel quite happy to delete to my heart's content. And then if I do have an issue, especially if I have an issue and I don't realize until much later, I can just come back and change it. That's going to take a while to load. And then this one, let's select similar materials. And that should just be, because I also don't want to accidentally delete something that's part of anything else by accident. Okay, so that's the corset, that's the corset mesh. I might copy this and make a separate one for the stitches and the ribbon. Yeah, that's what I didn't want, so I'm going to have to deal with that. But that's okay, because I thought that that might happen, so I can just edit that and move the mesh around. I'm not going to move this one, I'm going to move the moss, because that was the one I wanted to be uneven and lumpy anyway, so it's easier for me to move that one around. But this is the top, yes. Okay. I don't think I'm using this for anything. Mm. And I need to fix the mesh around the eyelets. Because I'm assuming that I won't, it's likely I won't be any closer than this, but I still like to do them well. And I need to do the lacing on the back. The bow is one of the default bows from Chloe because I just like the way it looked, but the way that I wanted to do the actual lacing, I thought about doing it in Chloe, and then I felt like it would be much easier to just do it in Blender. My plan is to have a curve from here to here and cross them over, and then copy this section of the bow and have that follow the curve because there should be enough of that, enough what am I talking about? That yes, so the mesh is complex enough that it should be able to follow the curve quite nicely, but I just need to clean up all of these edges, which might take a while, but I think will definitely be worth it and not that hard to do. I just need to get into it and do it. So I think the next step will be clean up, and then a step after that will be procedural generation, and then I'm going to redo the skeleton last in case I decide to add anything else. I doubt I will. I might want to redo the hair slightly, but other than that, I'm pretty happy with it. I've got um pinky hair at the moment. Well, I've got pink, blue, green, purple hair at the moment. But yeah, and it's nice to have a color that's so separate from all the other colors I'm working on that I don't get it mixed up. But I am pretty pleased with that so far. This is my first corset of 2024. My aim is to try and make 12 corsets on Chloe at minimum. If you watched my stream yesterday, I was also making a corset. So almost two corsets in, or at least two and a half once the mesh is done. So yesterday's corset is going to be like um, another material. I'm trying to do all unusual materials, which is why this is going to be a combination of moss. It's slightly simpler because I want this character to be present with all of the corsets, not necessarily wearing them, but kind of like showing them off. So this is that's why it's called corset maker. This is the corset maker. So that's why she's got to have a corset. Well, she doesn't have to, but I would like her to have a corset. A fairly unusual one, but not as unusual as the ones I'm planning to do, just so that there is a kind of hint towards the unusual, but also in this, it's fairly clear to see that it's a corset. So you're not, so there's a kind of abstraction from the norm of a corset while still being recognizable. Um, so I feel like this one, you could make this in real life quite easily. Well, you'd have to make it out of fur, not moss, but still, it's doable. I do also, now I've just thought about that, want to see if I can add some small dewdrops to the moss. That might be quite nice actually. And maybe have some moss on her shoulders in different sections. So maybe I will do some procedural generation of that. That might be nice. But yeah, so that's where we are. That's where I leave you today. So thank you for watching my stream, and I will see you in the next one, which is Friday Minecraft, I think. Um, I will check my schedule. You can check my schedule, and we will meet again, hopefully, this week on fun things. Or if you're only interested in my Clo corsets, then Saturday is the next Clo stream. I feel like I need to add some music though. I think it would be nice. But then again, I'm talking so much. Would we hear any of the music? These are the questions. But let me know what you think. And I love comments. I love input. I like to talk to people on stream. I'd like to clarify that. In real life, I'm a little bit more introverted. I like my own space and company, but on stream, I feel, especially because I'm doing things I really enjoy, I love talking about what's going on and everything. So hopefully I'll see you in my next stream. But thank you for watching, and I will see you hopefully on Thursday or Friday. So, ta ta!